Hello, fellow questers, and welcome to the second edition of Discussions with Devs, your guide on the awesome journey through the indie dev community. I am your host, Ryan Suter, and today we are joined by producer/designer Holden Link from Magic Pixel Games in Los Angeles, California. Holden, thanks for being on the program.
Happy to be here. Thanks for having me.
So take us back to 2010 and tell us the story of how Magic Pixels was founded.
So Magic Pixel was founded by six core members of the Boomblocks team from EALA. That label that they were working with was shut down, and the team really enjoyed working together, thought that they had done something special in Boomblocks and wanted to be able to keep working together. So Magic Pixel Games was formed a very short while later. They've just been growing since then, bringing on other talent from Activision and THQ and a number of other companies in the LA area.
Very cool. So when they all got together, I mean, there's a bunch of different people from different studios and different disciplines within gaming. How did they decide on what they wanted to do?
Their core goal is to find the fun really fast in anything that they're working with, right? I was not one of the founders of the company, but I was actually an intern on Boomblocks Bash Party, the sequel. So that's where I was able to initially get started with all of them. And even then on my short internship, we probably had 10 or 15 different game ideas that they rapidly prototyped just to see what was fun and what wasn't. Ideas are a currency, but they also really want to get things up and running really quick and just figure out things that are fun to do. So they really also enjoy we really also enjoy the challenge of new hardware. So the PlayStation Move, the Xbox Kinect, and also the Nintendo Wii at the time were really attractive to us because they were new opportunities to try things that maybe hadn't been done before in games.
Yeah, so because in your game Carnival, you guys use motion controls for the Xbox Kinect and the PlayStation Move, and these controller types are notoriously difficult to work with for third-party developers because they don't have the years of experience and R&D that the first-party developers do. Like Xbox makes
Right.
the Kinect, so they know how to use the Kinect. But for
Right,
the
absolutely.
third-party developers, they don't. So what was the most challenging part of developing with those?
So certainly just figuring out what each individual platform is good at is very difficult. There are certain kinds of games that really just shouldn't be made with certain kinds of hardware. And as much as we'd love to adapt everything that we already know about game development to every new piece of technology that comes out, they just don't always fit. So
Give us an
trying to
example
analyze.
of one that you don't think fits.
You can look at I guess when the Wii was announced, everybody really wanted a lightsaber game on the Wii. And it's something that sounds awesome in concept. You're swinging around the sword in your living room and everything, but you aren't really getting any force feedback because you're just kind of waving it around. Or, other people thought maybe like a painting game would be great with Wii Remote. But Wii Remote is, really good at painting if you're trying to paint a house because it's like a paintbrush on the end of a 3-foot pole. And there are just certain things that there's a little bit of a disconnect until you actually go and try them. So certainly not all of our ideas for how to use these platforms have been fantastic or wonderful. We throw a lot of ideas on the floor, but our company's original name was Lightning Prototypes, and we try to just get ideas put to tech as quick as possible and find the fun in all the hardware.
Yeah, cool. And you did that in your game Carnival because it's made up of like almost 40 different games within it, right?
Yeah, so Carnival Island we released for the PlayStation Move along with Sony Santa Monica last November. And that was a fantastic first project for us as a new company. We were able to put a lot of our knowledge from Boomblocks to use again. We were really, really excited about working with the Move. It's a fantastic piece of hardware, and it gives you a lot of precision. And so there are certain kinds of games that it's really good at. Because we were able to use that controller, for example, we found that we could do a bowling game. So we did what we called mini balls. Take on the popular skee ball game. And rather than if you look at any implementation of that game on other platforms, they'll have you choose where your starting point is horizontally along the board, and then you choose which angle you want to throw the ball at, and then your actual throw with the motion controller or any other devices is a completely separate thing. So it's usually 2 or 3 steps. We were able to condense everything down into one step. You just pick up the ball and you throw it, and you can add backspin on it with your wrist if you want. You can depending on the angle that you move the move controller, certainly you can also move it around. If you want to throw it overhand and chuck it directly into the holes, you can do that too. So we were able to really just have a lot of fun and figure out how people actually interact with a lot of these things and translate that to the move controller.
I wonder how many people have figured that out, the throwing it over again.
It's we see a lot of people also throwing the balls. We have these pets that cheer you on in the games, and we have people pegging the pets with balls all the time too. So people are starting to figure that stuff out for sure. But we started off. I think we have close to 40 different games in there, but a number of them we ended up just not putting in the final version because we decided internally that it's a cool idea. It sounds really great on paper, but this just didn't turn out to be as fun as we thought it would. So it's always a struggle to know when to let something go like that. But that's something that we've gotten pretty good at it with motion controls, especially.
Cool. So how do you guys stay close to your mission of like finding the fun, like close to that mission statement, while also trying to remain competitive in the industry?
So for one, we're really, really passionate about making games and seeing people have fun with them. At the end of the day, that's the biggest payoff that we get, right? Is we get to look at whether it's the kids of some of the people at the studio will come in and play the games and seeing smiles on their faces when they're playing them. That's a huge bonus. Seeing just families and focus tests or whatever have fun with them. That's the ultimate payoff. And then of course when it gets to consumers seeing that. So anything we can do along the way and make sure that people are actually having fun with something is certainly our final goal. So that is not always easy, for sure, when it comes to working in a really competitive industry where we'll have deadlines or have any number of obstacles that get in our way that force us to make sacrifices, et cetera, along what we can and can't do with various games. But I guess the entire time throughout our development process, we have people in the studio taking time to sit and play our games. Just make sure that they're still having fun with it. Is if we hit any point in development where we are not having fun with our game, then we have a problem. And that's something that I think we've gotten very good at. And it also allows us to see, maybe to be able to rebalance some of our focuses on where we're going to go with certain games, because we'll decide that a certain feature that may have been minor is actually a lot more fun than we thought it was. So we need to put more of a focus on that. And certainly last time around with Sony Santa Monica, they were an absolutely fantastic publishing partner and working with us. And it is really nice to have the freedom of being independent, but also to be able to have publishers who have confidence in what you can do, because they're very happy to listen as well, which is just wonderful.
Cool. And so moving forward, I mean, what's next for Magic Pixel Games? Are there going to be more motion control in the future?
We are still making games, and that's a really good thing. But I unfortunately can't really talk much about what we're doing right now. We haven't been able to get anything announced just yet, but we're excited. We're working on something that internally we think is fun, so that's good.
That's always important.
And yeah, we're very hopeful to be able to continue making games that people like to play at the end of the day. So.
Very cool. And so, final question here on the way out the door. What are you playing right now?
I just finished Fez. I probably have poured 15 hours or so into it, and it just came out almost a week ago today. So that's a pretty serious gaming binge for me. But I played a lot of that. I played on a regular basis. I still play League of Legends. I'm a huge fan of that. I play that with a lot of friends at other studios too.
I'll have to get your screen name for that. I'm about to go play right after this.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And yeah, I guess apart from that, I've been playing a bit of Saints Row the Third. That's been a pretty fun one, and pretty much anything else I can get my hands on. So certainly still try to play as many games as I can.
Very cool, very cool. Well, Holden, thank you very much for joining us today, and tune in next time, everyone.
Thanks again for having me.